Welcome back to another episode of Late Entry. We are hosted, as always, by Jaxson Dart, 2-1, hashtag Young Hollywood.
Y'all know what time it is.
Isn't the watch, isn't that Shador? Does Dart
We got
do
the
that
white.
too?
We got the white band. So
The white
Shador has the more flushed out, bust unruly avalanche. We just got the the Apple Watch for Jaxson Dart. Yeah.
Yeah.
RBF Kyle.
What up, though? We took the L tonight, Lions fans, but we'll be back.
And as always, your boy Double Dose. It's been a rough week of sports for your boy. Stayed up till 1,000,000 hours, basically 11 a.m. the next day to watch the Tigers lose in the most overtime innings in a playoff game ever. That was painful. The next night, got to watch the Cubs go home to the Brewers. And the same night, got to watch the Wolverines also take an L in an even worse game than that. And then today, the Lions lost. But we're still here, and we got an episode for you guys. We are going to be covering some of the biggest stories from the NFL today. And then we have a fun segment at the end of Toph doing some blind rankings. Stick around for the end of that. You're not going to want to miss this. But let's get right into it. Lions take the L tonight to the Chiefs as the resident Jared Goff and Dan Campbell, number one harem member. Kyle, why don't you start off with this? What you think?
Yeah, I mean, injuries at cornerback had something to do with it, but for the most part, it just felt like we weren't ready for this matchup. We thought we were, and at the same time, I think it was partially that the Lions weren't ready to face this matchup, and I also think the Chiefs were bats out of hell tonight. It was go 2-4 and potentially like throw away our season, or win tonight, go 3-3, stay even keel against a good team, and everybody can remember we're still the Chiefs. And yeah, I mean, Travis was playing harder than I've seen him play this season. I mean, those guys were playing like it was their Super Bowl tonight on the Chiefs side of things. So credit to those guys, but that's not an excuse to why we lost. We should have been able to handle that. St. Brown dropping passes is not something you're used to as a Lions fan, but it does happen. It took him 6 games, basically 5.5 games, to drop a pass. As as one of the best wide receivers in the league this year, fantasy wise or anything outside of that too. So I don't know. I'm so mad to see the 4-2 because I wanted us to just go on some crazy run. But we're gonna learn from this. We're gonna get better from it. But yeah, the Chiefs bested us, and Andy Reid coaches a damn good squad.
Toph?
Yeah, like I said, I gotta tip my hat to the Chiefs. Because not too long ago, I thought this team was, I want to say, dead in the water, but some of those glaring issues, especially offensively and even defensively, something I kind of was worried about for that team long term. But old Double Dose said, just wait for
I was
going to
bring that up. I was going to bring that
look
up.
better. And you're right, they did. Also, I don't know the exact stats for the Chiefs, rush defense, but even the Super Bowl, they knew, what is the Eagles' main threat? Is Saquon Barkley. And if anything, Spagnuolo, he will at least shut down, what you do best. What Lions do the best? Run the football. And they make sure to shut that down, as best as they could. But it's just going to have to, make Jared Goff put on that cape. As Double Dose always says, Mr. Force Multiplier or Mr. Force Divider, whatever you want to call it. He didn't quite deliver for him. Rivers just came down to the end, I feel like pretty much after halftime, the Chiefs just kind of, from there point on, just took care of business. I said the Lions probably at worst will end up going 12-5. They're not near as good as they were last year. They're still a good team. Any given Sunday, nobody's undefeated anymore. The NFL's a lot more competitive, so you're going to take some losses. Nobody's going to go undefeated. So They'll be fine.
Okay, so I have actually a lot of shit I want to talk about with this. Toph, you touched on a few of them already. Um, yes, I'm glad you remember that. I just want to point out there for all the listeners, I think it was week 2 or 3, I came on this boy, hit everybody with Aaron Rodgers relax as it pertained to the Chiefs. I said they are, because I remember there was people talking, it wasn't just you, Toph, there's people talking about how they need to blow it up, get rid of some of the defenders, just start from scratch. And I was like, look, their whole design is play super, super good defense and then make Patrick Mahomes put that cape on and just pick pieces apart. And I was like, you don't have Worthy, you don't have Rashee Rice. It's going to look bad. Today they have Worthy and there's no Rashee Rice and they still just did that to us. Wait till Rashee Rice gets back. I told y'all the Chiefs were going to be just fine, and they did have a little fuck up last week on, Trevor Lawrence trip fall running to the end zone. But I think, like I said, I think the Chiefs are going to be just fine. I don't know if they're going to win the Super Bowl, but they're going to give somebody hell in the playoffs. That being said, as we move on to the Lions side of this thing, first of all, I want to address. You remember we talked about the tie with the Packers, and we were talking about like how does a tie really impact you? Was that smart to go for a tie or not? I'm looking at the standings right now. We're 4-2. The Packers now are 3-1 after their win today. 3-1 gets you number 1 in the division over 4-2 because the ratio is better. They're the Packers are a 0.7. The Lions are a 0.667. So that just for myself and for others, that's how a tie can benefit you. Over here doing the fucking 6-7 shit.
Hey, you said it. You said okay. It. I just had to finish it.
Okay, so on to the Lion stuff specifically. Kyle, you said that they weren't ready for the game. And you could see that right off rip. They drive the ball on the field, get to the end zone, and then just mistake after mistake after mistake. You draw up a play, got to call a timeout, burn one of those. Then you've got, I might have my order mixed up, so correct me if I'm wrong. You had then you try to run the Jared Goff, go in motion, catch the ball. Nice effort by Jared Goff. He really pushed that shit in there. But they didn't fucking stop the motion. Like, I feel like that's some shit you should have practice. And then everyone looking surprised. Dan Campbell, you should not be looking surprised. You should know the rules of this. Like, this should come as a surprise to no one that this just happened. Like you said, Kyle, they didn't seem like they were ready for it. Something that I did like, which wound up not necessarily mattering, but I've been giving Dan Campbell hell for not learning from his previous mistakes. I like the fact that he kicked the field goal to start that off. At some point, you realize the journey is over and take the points. That was an issue with us in San Francisco. That was an issue with us. Remember that game that we went against the Cowboys 2 years ago? Mm-hmm. And they ran 3 fucking trick plays in a row. And then I was like, bro, just kick the field goal. And then they went for it again. And they didn't get it. I'm happy to see Campbell making those progressions of like, okay, maybe this isn't the time. Let's kick the field goal. I understand against the Chiefs, you want to be aggressive, put those 7 points up there. But at some point, just realize the team does not have it right this second. Let's get these guaranteed points, get out of here. We'll run it back. So I like to see that. As far as my feeling about the Lions, I'm also scared of the defense. We got a lot of injuries. It feels like last year already. But like Toph said, we're not as good offensively as we were last year. So that scares the hell out of me. I'm remembering us playing Buffalo toward the end of the season last year. I think that game was like 47-44. It was just who's going to get the ball last and score or who's going to make the first stop because both defenses sucked. We cannot afford to have another season like that. We got to get our guys healthy or at least get somebody to step up on defense. This scares me. 17 points also scares me. Like we got dominated on both sides of the ball tonight. Our offense got killed by their defense and their defense got killed by our offense. They were gashing us.
As far as their D-line goes, Chris Jones, I mean, he was a wrecking crew out there. I mean, he pieced us up wherever he wanted from the edge, from the inside. He just tore our O-line to pieces tonight.
But here's the scary thing about that, right? The Chiefs, we wouldn't play again until potentially the Super Bowl. But think about who else we're going to have to go through in the playoffs. Micah Parsons,
absolutely,
Jalen Carter, and the Rams defensive line. That doesn't get that much easier. Like, you know what I mean? That is a problem. That is an absolute problem that has to be addressed.
It's something they definitely have to learn from, for sure.
I've got 2 more points left on this. I said before on the Wednesday episode, Kyle, I said, and I've been bringing this up. I was all excited after us beating the Ravens. I thought that we were back. And then we found out the Ravens are terrible. Now, moving forward, I said, we have not played a quality team yet, except arguably the Packers week 1. We're now 0-2 against quality teams. We've beaten up bad teams, but we have not. I said this, we haven't really been tested yet. And now we got our test and we failed that bitch. Like we failed, you know what I mean? There was no positives to look forward to from what happened tonight. Both sides of the ball, we got dominated. We couldn't even field a punt or a kickoff very well. We were getting stopped at the fucking 15. So there's no positives to look for. I mean, I believe that we're going to get it together, but what I'm saying is there's a lot of holes that got exposed for us tonight. I feel like the
100%.
Chiefs just came in and took our clothes off in front of the whole fucking world, and it was a primetime game.
Yeah, just danced us in front of the whole country.
In front of everybody, dog. We were no draws.
I know.
My last,
which you need sometimes. Sometimes you need that to be a really good team to make it at the end of the season. Like I'd rather us lose this than, February. We're sitting here and we're like, well, Lions made it here, but since they didn't have a challenge like the Chiefs, they weren't ready for Chris Jones, and he tore us to pieces. I'd rather us get this loss out the way now.
I'm not saying that you're wrong there, but what scares me is the fact of what's the fix. Maybe for the offensive line, they can get that under control, but you can't necessarily, at some point, unless you're the fucking 49ers, you run out of next man up. And so it's like the defense, dog. Like, we can't afford to just be this decimated already. Week, 5, 6? Are we 6 weeks in? 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's scary. And now the announcers were talking about, like, hey, mid-season, they get those guys back that could help. But it's like, they got to get back into the system. So I'm concerned. I'm not, like, ready to say, like, the season is over or anything by any means. I'm just saying there's a lot of shit that there's to be concerned about. Lastly, and Toph, you brought this up too. I'm also concerned about tonight reminded me of the playoff game against the Commanders last season. And this is what I talk about with the force multiplier shit. At some point tonight, we ran into the same shit we did against the Commanders. The scheme isn't working. What's next? And this is where I say Jared Goff is not a force multiplier. Both against the Commanders and tonight, we needed somebody to put the cape on and save us. And when we needed him the most, Jared Goff is throwing at people's feet. So I'm not trying to, once again, I'm not a Jared Goff hater. That's just everything we've talked about from the offseason until now. This is what I mean when I say he's not a force multiplier. Baker Mayfield gets that shit done. At least he makes it look better. 17 points with all those weapons. That's what I'm saying. It's not a force multiplier. When the scheme fails, our offense is dead in the water. The Commanders, the Packers tonight. Any
you can
thoughts
say that for
that?
any scheme. You can say that for any scheme.
No, you can't. No, you can't. No, you can't. Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Baker Mayfield, they get that shit done.
I've seen Patrick Mahomes have some big stinkers. I've seen Josh Allen have some big stinkers when the scheme isn't going their way. Are they? I mean, I'm not going to argue with you about this, but Jared Goff gets no respect when the Lions win by 21, but he gets all the disrespect when the Lions can't get the last, 10 to 13 points.
I'm not disrespecting Jared Goff. What I'm saying is that the expectation level.
I know
what
you're
we
not.
expect from him.
I'm just I understand what you're saying, but like the force multiplier shit and the perennial all-star narrative that you're on right now is just like who knows? Like, I mean, we said it pre-show. Who the fuck knows is what's gonna happen? It's the NFL. It's any given Sunday for a reason. Like,
let's bring in the. Go ahead.
I've had Patrick Mahomes on my fantasy team for some outstanding seasons. I've had Patrick Mahomes on my fantasy team for some terrible seasons, right? And it's not all about fantasy. It's not all about fantasy. I'm not trying to say that, but and he makes a lot more out of nothing than Jared Goff does. Like when the offensive line falls apart, Jared Goff isn't going to help you. But Patrick Mahomes can scramble and do that. I understand what you're talking about with the force multiplier on that front, but like these pocket passers get a bad rap, in my opinion, because they are also force multipliers because they are incredibly accurate and with throwing it through windows that you wouldn't see Patrick Mahomes typically throwing through that window. You see it happen every now and again, or you see him making a crazy diving throw, but I don't know. It's everybody's really good. So it's so hard to like pick this apart.
Toph is unbiased, so I really want to get his opinion. I just want to ask you one question, just a yes or no answer, and then I want Toph to go. If we have Baker Mayfield as our quarterback tonight, do you think the offense looks as bad as it did? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Toph?
All right, I'm gonna ask you one simple question about all these force multipliers.
Me or Kyle?
Both of you guys.
Okay. Yeah.
All those people you just named. You see what the Ravens look like without Lamar Jackson. Take out Josh Allen. Take out Patrick Mahomes. Take out Joe Burrow. You get rid of Jared Goff for the Lions. Are they still a good team?
Yes.
No.
There you go.
No.
Yes, they are.
That's my whole
they
point. That's my whole
are.
point.
You see, the Ravens are struggling. Bengals are struggling. You take Josh Allen off the Bills, they're probably right back into probably top 10 worst team. They'd have a top 10 pick. You could not take those people off those teams. You can see with the Bills right now, they're winning, but it doesn't look as easy. You know, Josh has to do a lot. Sometimes he does too much in there. You take Mahomes off the Chiefs. We've never seen that. I don't even want to see that. That would be nasty. But you could take Goff off the Lions. The Lions will still be good just because they run the ball so good. If you could run the ball, control the clock, that is the easiest recipe there.
And the announcers made that point tonight. I want to hammer that home too, because it's not just me. The announcers were talking about that toward the end of the game. They said this team is meant to run and kill clock. And then they off of that, they get the play action going. The scheme is perfect. They cook up spots for Jared Goff to have these opportunities. Once we fall behind and we got to just drop back and throw, it's fucking over. And I understand that everyone has bad games, but I feel like tonight was kind of an example of the shit I'm talking about. I don't think that any quarterback in the world off the street is going to come in and be as good as Jared Goff. I'm not disrespecting him. I'm not saying he's bad. Jared Goff is fringe top 10 quarterback. He is, in my mind, the Tom Brady of game managers. He is an elite game manager. But as far as when all shit hits the fan and we need someone to save us, it's not coming from our quarterback.
Yeah, all right. That's
one has it. One has it. Because when we lose, it's always, with the exception of the Niners game, every time we lose, it's the same thing.
Okay, let me ask you another question.
No, it's not. But
let's look at the Bucs skilled players, the Lions skilled players. Who has better skilled players?
Oh my God, not even close.
Baker Mayfield has never, since he left Oklahoma, has never had top tier wide receivers. Not even top tier running
Chris
backs.
Godwin and Mike Evans aren't top tier wide receivers.
No. We're talking about, he never had Mike in his prime. Like Jameis Winston, he's throwing 30 touchdowns, 30 picks. Mike is still good, but he's not at his apex. Chris Godwin's got one leg. He can barely play. He's throwing to Tej Johnson out here, out of Oregon. And Baker still gets it done, which is crazy. Bucky Irving is crazy. He still does it.
I don't know which one of you it was, but one of you guys had Jared Goff in your top 10 quarterbacks in our preseason rankings, and neither one of you guys had Baker Mayfield.
You're right.
Now I'm sitting here Now I'm sitting here defending. Now I'm sitting here defending Jared Goff to the Baker Mayfield narrative. But go ahead.
Kyle, that wasn't me. I did not have Jared Goff in my top 10. I did have.
I think I did. I think I had both of them in
there. Baker was
neither
in mine.
one of you guys had Baker in your top 10.
I promise you, Baker Mayfield.
I'm pretty sure I had Baker in mine. I'll go look right now.
Baker was in mine. Goff was not. I had Goff at 11
right now.
I had Goff at 11, but I told you when we revisited this like a week or two ago, I said if we redid it today, I would take CJ Stroud out and put either Justin Herbert or Jared Goff in.
I don't think I even had CJ in mine. Pretty sure
because I
he
had
wasn't.
I
because
definitely
CJ,
didn't have
yes,
CJ in mind.
I did, and that was a mistake. CJ has not been like that,
No,
but
but
I've always been a Baker is better than Jared Goff person.
Yeah, I had Baker at 10 and Goff at 7.
Yep.
there you go. So now I'm
Yeah, so
sitting
I
here
know
having
I
to
had both of them in
defend.
there.
I'm having to defend him over what 6 weeks of football, right? Like, and I don't know. I think we need to just let shit play out. But I will forever stand on Jared Goff as my quarterback over Baker Mayfield, 110%.
I love Jared Goff. Baker Mayfield is a better quarterback.
I like Goff as well too. We
Okay.
just said he can't, if he had
Baker's made
to
way
just take
bigger
over, if he's
strides in
down
these last few
14
years
for 6
than
minutes,
any.
I don't think he could do it.
But Baker has made way bigger strides than anybody that I've ever seen within 2 years. These last few years
Yeah.
with in Tampa, I agree with that. I still want Jared Goff as the quarterback of this team over Baker, and I don't think Baker in this scheme is going to make us win this game over Kansas City. I think you're talking an ace of spades versus an ace of hearts. It depends on what suit you got, you know?
I hear you.
Hey, that's your
Hey,
team. That's your
people in the comments, let us know. Let us know if you think who you would take if we were to draft today, Baker or Jared Goff. Please leave us a comment. Let us know that. Let's keep this boy pushing. The one bright spot of my week, sports wise, the Packers came off of their bye week. They got a dub against the Bengals. Now, we've talked about this a few times. The Bengals, we said they need to get some help. Toph and I talked about this before. We said go get Kirk Cousins, go get Jameis. They went and got Flacco. It's amazing how much better that offense looked with a competent guy throwing the ball back there. And I said Jake Browning was not him. Night and day. Night and day. Now still, I mean, you could say, the Lions almost blew it last week against the Bengals. Packers almost blew it this week. But the plays and actually getting Jamar Chase the ball, whole different situation over there. That last touchdown that Jamar caught was crazy. Jamar Chase is an absolute dog, and it's nice to see him having the chance to show us that again. What was I gonna say? Really, that's it. That's all I got to say. Packers got another dub, and yeah. What about you guys?
I don't think it was the cleanest game in the world, but
Not at
at the
all.
end of the day, a win is a win. They're not gonna see you tally up your wins and losses. Ugly win, ugly loss, blowout win, blowout. It doesn't matter. A win is a win. So, Packers, they did what they had to do.
Kyle?
Yeah, I mean, Joe Flacco did a lot for my fantasy team this week, giving me some T. Higgins love. A lot more than Jake Browning did in the last few weeks. So kudos to Joe Flacco. I still think the Bengals season is chalked, and they'll end up with the top 5 pick at the end of the year.
Okay. One thing I do want to say, I'm concerned about the Packers too. Like you said, it was not clean. But their defense is not as good as I was expecting it to be. I feel like and maybe I'm not watching Micah specifically enough, but as I'm just looking at the defense as a whole, this is not what I was expecting. You guys agree with that, or do you think that it's just the team?
They've definitely looked sloppy in the last few games they've played. I don't know. Yeah, they can't really get to the quarterback for some reason when they have they have 3 really good pass rushers. So yeah, something's going on there, but knowing the Packers, they'll figure it out.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, which was one of my biggest arguments on who won that trade, I was like, as good as Micah is, talent wise and anything, he wasn't really, giving the Cowboys much, playoff success. He would always, start out good, and about around the playoff time, he would end up getting some kind of injury, which he didn't have his full impact in there. So, like I said, I definitely think he helps the Packers. He's only one person. He can't take double teams in there. He's not entirely good in rush defense. But Rashawn Gary, where have you been at, man? I think that's a big thing. And I already knew that the corners, weren't the greatest. If you're gonna have bad corners, then you pretty much really rely on the front seven more on that front four to get you pressure without having to sacrifice linebackers bringing the blitz. If you're gonna have Rashawn Gary and definitely Micah, you should be able to get some kind of pressure, help out your DBs. I think definitely for them they should be a big market on the trade deadline. I think there's a good corner down the NFC that would really help the team out. I don't know if they'd get rid of him, but I do think they need a little bit more help.
Who are
I
you
wouldn't
talking
hit the
about?
panic button for the Packers.
Who's the
Tariq
corner?
Woolen. Tariq Woolen.
Oh, okay. On the
Tall,
Rams, right?
rangy. Seahawks. Tall,
Was he on the Rams
rangy,
before?
fast.
Or am I tripping?
No.
Okay.
Nope. He's also
Okay.
been a Seahawk.
Yeah, I mean, they've got a good defense though too, and a good offense. I feel like with the way that they're playing this season, I feel like they're probably invested in trying to make this shit happen this season.
Well, they have Devin Witherspoon already, and I feel like Tariq Woolen's been a little bit on the wayside. So, see if you get some value for him.
That's fair. Okay, moving over to we're gonna talk. Toph and I both have a gripe about these London games. You want to hit first on that, Toph?
I'm glad I'm starting first. London games have always been bad, but there was one London game on Saturday night that was definitely more exciting than the Sunday morning one. I played some flag football. Our boy Ocho Cinco, J Cinco, destroying AJ Green, promo code AJ15. You heard? Duke Dennis, a bunch of celebrities, another YouTubers, even professional female flag football players. They played a little exhibition game. Way more exciting than what we got on Sunday. But just the history of these, European games, whether it's in Brazil, London. I just don't know why they schedule, bad teams to be sent to, help promote, the best sport, in the world. You'd want to think if you're going international, why not put the Buffalo Bills, somebody exciting where I don't want to, no offense, I love me some Justin Fields. I think the Jets are the best, winless team. So they put up a good fight. They were literally right there. Broncos just knocked off the Eagles, but like I said, we gotta put, forget defense, just put, offensive teams out there. Just really put on the show. People love soccer. It's a bit more. I think it's a bit more fast paced in football. It's a lot more, up and down, not too much stoppage. Like I said, if I'm going to be going, across the pond, already a tough travel, I'm putting the most exciting teams I could think of to help promote our game, our brand, make it, more global, worldwide.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with that. I remember, I think it was last year or the year before, you had that we sent them London, the Panthers versus the Jags.
I think Jags are the most team in the NFL that's ever went to London.
Bro,
so you might
that
as
is
well move them to London at this
that
point.
is an act of of international espionage. That is an act of terrorism. We're sending the Jags versus the Panthers to London. That's terrible. The only thing worse than that is me having to wake up at 8:30 a.m. to watch that shit. It's bad. Toph, you mentioned, I think you said it last week and then said it this week now too. Jets definitely look like the best winless team. They're always close. Every game they've played, with the exception of the Bills one, they've been right there with the chance to win the game. Conversely, the Broncos have got to be the least fun 4-2 team I've ever seen before. I do not enjoy watching them play football at all. At all. Bo Nix, I remember being so excited toward the end of last season about how good the Broncos looked, and they have looked terrible. I mean, excitement-wise, have looked terrible.
Yes.
They're getting the job done, but I don't want to see it.
No, yeah, I agree with you.
Yep. So yeah, that's really all I got for that. It's not fun to watch at all, and the London games seem to have not been. It reminds me of there was a stat that came out, and I'm just paraphrasing it, but basically ever since they redid the divisions or conferences for college football, what did they got rid of? What, Toph, was it the Pac-10 or the ACC or something?
Pac-12.
Pac-12, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yep. So now they've got Oregon and Washington and UCLA or I'm sorry, USC in the Big Ten.
UCLA as well too.
Okay, yep. So whenever these teams travel, it does not go well. You saw that with U of M just Saturday.
Yep.
But it's the same thing with the London games, except both teams, it's an away game, and they're playing like that.
Then I know, like Aaron
Absolutely.
Rodgers, a little bit earlier. I know they played in Dublin, Ireland. He was saying that they wish that the team would fly a bit sooner, because I think they might have flew like Thursday or Friday. I don't remember, but if I'm going to be going, that's a long flight. Like, you should be heading out there literally that next month. If you played on Sunday, at least Monday, Tuesday, I'd want to be getting over there to practice, to get acclimated.
I'd want to practice there all week. Yep.
Yeah, like the time zone, team changed everything there. If it's been on a flight, you get the jet lag. You might take like a good day just to kind of feel like yourself.
Yeah, the only exciting international game that I can think of off the top of my head was, I think it was Brazil, Packers versus Eagles to start off last season.
I don't remember that one.
It was the opener.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
It was like
I
thought first game on the Eagles, and then Jaden Reed had like 2 touchdowns.
No one
Yeah,
remember.
but he said no. That was the only exciting one I can think of.
Yeah,
I mean,
honestly,
the one this year,
one
Chiefs
ends
Chargers
up
is pretty good.
Oh yeah, Chiefs Chargers.
That was in Brazil.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
to start this season. Yep.
Yep.
So Brazil
That was
gets
a
the
very
good
fun
shit
Mm-hmm.
because they're trying to bring the Spanish viewers in. The Europeans, we don't care nothing about y'all. Here's this Jags team.
No, but it does feel like every game overseas, we give them a game, and I don't know if it's on purpose by the NFL or not, but it's like 17-9, 13-10, 13-11, like today. Like, how do we have how are we putting that over? Like, how are we going to sell the game to the people overseas when we're putting up freaking sandbags like every time we go over there, and we're putting the worst teams in front of them. I don't know if it's necessarily calculated, but it does feel that way.
Hey, you know what? Maybe it is. All international. They like to see soccer. They like to see kicks. We're gonna send you the most field goals you've ever seen.
Yeah, you're gonna see a shit ton of kicks when we come on your turf. Yeah,
just punts and kicks.
Also, real quick, because I don't even want to cover the Jags topic, but I've said Wednesday that I feel like the Jags, are a fraudulent 4-1. It's only 1 week, so I can't say too much about it. But them losing to the Seahawks today by a not very close, it felt like that scene in Rush Hour
8
2.
points?
Was it? Was it only 8?
Yeah,
I thought it was
more.
I
think it was 20-12.
Okay. All I'm saying is I feel like the Jags, to me, you remember that scene in Rush Hour 2 where they got that counterfeit money, they light it on fire, the bitch is sparking? Chris Tucker's like, woo, that's fake as shit. That is the Jags to me. We're gonna keep an eye on it and see how it goes the rest of the season.
Yeah, we'll see.
That's where I'm at with it.
I think they're better than Doug Peterson Jags. So
I mean, I definitely don't have them making no playoffs, but I mean, I definitely think a 4-2 team. That's I think they are
playoffs at 4-2.
No.
I mean, because they've still got the Colts in their division.
Because what was it, 7 teams per conference now?
7.
No, there's I have to really think about it, but on the top of my head, no.
I guess what it comes down to is, who do you have more confidence in failing, Daniel Jones or the Jags as a whole?
Well, I mean, even so, you got
which one's going to fall apart?
Broncos, or
I think the Chargers fall out.
No, I'm just saying for the division, because I'm saying they might.
I'm just talking about like teams in general. I mean, I definitely trust the Colts more than anybody in that division. So
the way they're looking so far, the Colts are punishing bad teams. That's a sign of a good team to me, is the fact that you're not squeaking these by, you're beating the shit out of everyone who's inferior than you.
Yeah, so in that division, probably only one team out that division.
That's what I'm saying.
Maybe 2 out the West, probably the Chiefs and Broncos. I think Chargers have too many injuries.
They do get Joe Alt back, though.
Maybe even the Patriots. I mean, they still have Hampton's out. They already lost Najee. I don't know how long Khalil Mack, Quentin Johnson. Yeah, they got a lot, man. It's just always the Chargers curse.
Man, you're telling me
every year, man.
I got a lot of Chargers in one of my dynasty or one of my fantasy leagues, and that has been pain.
They look so good.
Quentin's out. Oh,
they looking like the 49ers of the AFC. Just every week, somebody else goes down, and eventually, you just this is too much.
Can't keep it up.
I know there's next man up, but not for the whole team.
Yo,
He ain't got that many.
speaking of the 49ers, that brings me up. Bro,
Freddie.
are the 49ers playing on a Native American burial ground? Like, what is happening over there, bro? I've never seen a team cursed
Yeah.
by as many injuries.
Like out for the season injuries too.
Speaking of which, shout out Fred Warner, wishing you a full and quick recovery. He dislocated and broke his right ankle today. He's going to get surgery and miss the rest of the season. One of the best linebackers in the NFL.
It's crazy. All the people injured, but it's not Christian McCaffrey.
Why would you say that? Why would you say that?
I'm just saying.
Oh
the
my
man
God.
that is injury prone.
You know why he
is
said
the one
it?
that's still up.
He said it because he picked Saquon over Christian McCaffrey in the draft this year.
Hey, you know what
Saquon's
else?
just younger.
Hey, you know what else too? Everybody called me crazy with two things, and now hopefully this man stays healthy. But everybody called me crazy for two things. We did running back rankings. I had McCaffrey in my top 3. Everyone was like, "What the hell is that? How you doing right now? Christian McCaffrey looking like him." Also,
I just said that he gets injured. I didn't say the man was bad.
I traded Jake in our late entry league. I traded Jake during the draft to get Christian McCaffrey. I'm beating the shit out of
What
you
was the
guys
trade?
right now.
What was the trade again?
I gave him the pick of 2 of my. He could pick my next 2 picks for Christian McCaffrey. So he wound up taking Ibuka and Devonta Smith, and I got Christian McCaffrey.
Okay, I mean, not bad.
Not bad by him.
Yeah.
That shit has been working out.
Ibuka, yeah.
Good trade for him. Yeah, Ibuka especially.
Yeah, I don't think that's bad at all.
I gave him his shout out for
I think that's a win-win
for Ibuka.
It's just one's, a little bit more shine. Well, a lot more shine than the other ones right now.
I do,
or half of it.
Yeah, I was gonna say Ibuka he's kind of been up there.
No, it was more the Devontae that was kind of in my head.
Yeah.
That was a little rough.
That
Not nearly on him though.
Yeah.
I do want to give Fred Warner some flowers real quick too. So this was reported. This is Tim Kawakami on Twitter, who is reposted by Stefania Bell. She's the fantasy football, the injuries expert. She's also a big 49ers fan, so she's real tapped in with them. But she retweeted this tweet. It said, Shanahan said Warner was in the locker room after the game, spoke to the team, and helped break down the post-game huddle. I can't imagine the pain he's in right now, physical and emotional, but Warner is still leading that team. And so she basically quote tweeted it and said, if everyone wants to know why he's so respected in that organization, stuff like that.
What quarter did he go out?
I couldn't tell you. I was watching the Packers. That was my focus.
So for the Niners to lose as many people as they are, and they're still in every single game, is crazy.
Here's another insane stat about them. Jawan Jennings told the reporters today that he is playing with 5 broken ribs, a high ankle, and a low ankle sprain.
He played through that tonight or today?
That's what he told the reporters.
I stubbed my toe. I'll be out for 5 weeks.
I rolled my ankle in that flag football. I rolled my ankle in that flag football league we did Toph. I was out for weeks.
I think he came back after that.
Spencer was holding the clipboard, wearing the headset. He was like, I'm out, coach.
He was playing DB. He had to make sure that back pedal was still good.
Spencer was playing DB. Y'all
I was locking him down. DB. I was locking him down, bro.
Hey, he said, I'll do it. I said, all right, man. Go ahead, do you.
Hey.
I'm sure you had him. Spence.
Hey, all right. Hey, that's crazy. I wasn't getting torched. It wasn't me. I played for about 2.5 games, but those 2.5 games look good. They look good.
2 ACLs later, he was fine.
Yeah. My check engine light came over. I had to pull off to the side of the road, but questionable return.
Hard out here.
That was the season I learned, because I would see people high ankle sprain. How you out for 6 weeks? I found out.
Yeah,
I found out. All right. So the team that they played, it was the Niners and it was the Bucks. All I want to say is y'all told me that at least I took it this way. Kyle, when we were on with Matt Wednesday, I said that I feel like Baker is the one for the MVP right now. Y'all were like number 1. I said number 1. That man today beat the Niners. Now the Niners also have a million injuries, so it was a battle of the 2 nursing homes. But that man had none of his offensive weapons. He had no Ibuka because Ibuka got hurt. Godwin's out. Mike Evans out. He's throwing to rookies and people getting their first ever NFL touchdowns. And he looked good as hell still. I watched him, bro. They had 2 people on him. Should have been a sack. All of a sudden, who did he come out? Still running. Every time I watch Baker Mayfield, I am just... It makes me sad that he's not on a team that like is one of my teams because he is one of the most fun players to watch in the entire NFL. Like, it's very few people in the entire league that give you the rush of rooting for Baker Mayfield. That man is, and he's just always doing more with less. And that's not to bring up the thing again, but that's where I'm saying that he is a lightning rod. He's a real force multiplier of just the fact that no matter what the odds are, no matter who he's playing with, Baker gonna do something. You guys' thoughts on the game?
I didn't really watch the game too much. I'm not gonna lie to you, I was just kind of busy. I'm just kind of more focused on Baker's standpoint. This is where I could talk to you for it. Baker Mayfield, quick little backstory, has always been counted out his entire life. Walked on to Texas Tech, won that job. Then he went to Oklahoma, walked on to there, won their starting job. His whole life, he's never been, the guy, the first pick for the head coach. He's had to work for everything he's got.
He was the first pick in the draft, though, wasn't he?
First pick, but he wasn't the starter week 1. I think it was, I can't remember the head coach's name, but he literally told him he won the backup job.
Yeah, I remember that.
When he had his first chance to stick it to him, he lit that coach up. Like I said, Baker was literally just 2 years ago, was, almost out the lead. And he bounced around the Browns, let him go probably way too early. We've seen what the Browns look like now. But now Baker, I mean, honestly, I think, Kyle, did you have him? He said something wild about Baker Mayfield, maybe like an MVP. He said something. I was trying to find it in the earlier episode.
It was one of our first. Yeah, it was one of our first episodes. Kyle said that,
and I'm like,
win an MVP within 2 seasons.
Within the next 2 years, he'll be within the top 5 conversation.
Season. Yeah,
this year.
Yep,
I wanted to make sure I brought that up.
Everybody.
Yes,
yeah.
Kyle, you called that way early.
It was like middle of summer.
Yeah, because this was like one of our summer. I was like, I'm not like Baker, but I just didn't see with everybody that's in there. I'm just like, I don't see how he gets past them. But no, I did not see Baker looking this good. I wish he would have beat, the Eagles would have been undefeated. It's just week to week. He's just like the plays as well too. Like in Heisman, you got to see if that Heisman game, the Heisman moment, that play. This man has a MVP play moment every single week.
Every week,
it's just crazy.
He's got 3 or 4 game-winning drives.
Yep. And then I know Skip Bayless said it. I guess he has like the highest QBR like in the playoffs. He doesn't have that many playoff games, but like he has like the most clutch. Skip's been saying that for ad nauseum. Like right now, would you take Mahomes or anybody? And he's saying Baker Mayfield. And each week it's like, you know what? He might be onto something. Like I know Mahomes does it, but it's hard to argue against Baker Mayfield right now with what he's doing about who's more clutch.
Yeah, absolutely. Baker's one of the most impressive things I've ever seen before in my life is Baker getting off of a plane in LA.
The Rams one?
No practice, going straight to a game and leading a game-winning drive right then. That's what kept him in the league. Yeah. That one game, I think, is what got him the job at the Bucs.
Which is crazy that when he was in Carolina, it didn't work out. It was literally him and Sam Darnold on that same team.
I mean, that shows more about the Panthers situation than it does them, because both of those quarterbacks have left
Browns too.
Starters. Yeah. Yep. Terrible.
And he got them to the playoffs. I know last time they've been to the playoffs, but he got them there.
That was exactly what made me think this. Exactly what you guys are talking about it was from that moment he worked for Sean McVay for literally 3 weeks, and it ignited all of the confidence that Baker needed to get back at Tampa. And that first season, it was rocky. They were up and down, but him and Liam Cohen, like they started making that shit work. And then now you got the Baker without Liam Cohen, and he's almost flourishing even more, Hopefully my quarterback can do the same. But yeah, Baker has come out on the other side of that all the better. So I'm happy for him. I'm real happy that Tampa actually has a quarterback to believe in again after Tom Brady, just came and went so quickly.
That just goes
Yeah.
to show no matter how your career went, that man has probably never lost, faith in himself. You see how some
Mm-hmm.
quarterbacks, you lose your confidence. That man loses confidence no matter what, between him going to Cleveland, Carolina, back to Tampa. Like I said, I'm sure at no point in his career did he ever just thought, I'm not him no more.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's all
I
you need in
always
the
thought that
quarterback.
was a
You
shot.
got to have the belief in yourself.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was Baker who said this or someone else that pointed it out, but somebody said, I think it was within the last few days, um, how you play, they will adjust the narrative for you. In Cleveland, he was cocky, he was arrogant. Now he's got swag, he's got moxie. Same player, same attitude. Winning versus losing.
I mean, he's even said that himself. Like he kind of toned it down. He was young at that point. I mean, he was in Oklahoma. Grabbing his crotch. Flicking people up. He was a wild boy in
Mm-hmm.
college, and he kind of toned it down as he got older. But he didn't lose that flair, the passion. That's him. He has to play like that. He
Yeah.
finds something to kind of when he had C.J. Gardner-Johnson, they had that spat. He said, "Oh, that's more fuel for me. I'm gonna go up there and cook the next team I play now."
It's almost Jordan-esque in the like find that
Yeah,
one thing that's gonna piss you off and you're gonna
Tom
make them pay
Brady.
for it. Yep.
Everybody has that different kind of something they need to kind of get them, oh, that's all I needed right there. Thank you.
You guys see the clip of him talking crap with the fan at it wasn't this week, it was week 5,
Yeah.
and he literally called the fan an effing p word. Uh, he
Really?
was just like he just like the fan was going crazy about how bad he sucked, and he's like, oh yeah, you think I suck, yeah, you're a fucking pussy. Like he was just like it was, and then he went out there and won the game, and I'm just like, just to think that fan has to be like, yeah, I posted this, but I don't feel like I really won because Baker
Bro,
was just defiled me.
that play against the Texans where he took off for that first down, got hit, was laying there like he was hurt for a second, then was like, oh, I gotta talk shit. Popped up and was getting the guy's face. Like, bro, Baker Mayfield is him. He really
Yeah.
He's a
is.
dog.
And he's not even that big of a guy either.
What do you, and we're gonna talk about this team later, but I just curious, Toph, of your perspective, how similar in personality do you think he and Jaxson Dart are?
That's a good question. I think Baker has more because Baker had to literally work for everything that he had. Jaxson Dart did not. 5-star quarterback, went to USC, supposed to be the guy. When Lane Kiffin left, transferred to Ole Miss. Different stories. Jaxson Dart, I don't know this man's, one of my favorite players, but I don't know him personally. I think his upbringing is more, I don't think he had to struggle for too much like Baker did. I just think Jaxson Dart, is what you see kids like now. They're confident. They like to have a good time. Um, he can go to the cookout. Baker can as well too. They definitely just have, like I said, we use, Daniel Jones. He's in New York market. You get killed in the New York market. You got to have the confidence in yourself. You can't be rattled too much. Jaxson Dart, he's just out there having fun, playing his game. The fans love him. Dave all really loves the guy. The whole team, they just really, they're like rah guys. If they make a mistake, the team helping them up. So that's all right, man. You're gonna do it the next one. I think they're pretty similar, but I think Baker just has like that killer instinct. I don't think Jaxson Dart has that. Baker, he'll bite someone's kneecap off. Whatever has to be done, Baker is gonna do it.
Well, let's actually flip flop these topics and let's just actually do Giants versus Eagles right now. Toph, you've been the biggest Jaxson Dart supporter that I know, and they took down the Eagles today. Gave them their, or not today, but Thursday. Gave them their second loss of the season.
Yep.
Your thoughts?
I literally told all my friends, all my betting homies, I said, hey, take the Giants 7.5. I said, it's free. I said, I don't know if they're going to win, but 7.5, I like the chances on it just because we've seen the Eagles, the struggles. And, that's a short week to go off, what you just had against the Broncos right into the next game, even though, Facility in New York as well too. Saquon's, return. I just felt like it was the perfect storm for the Giants to, have a short week. They, like I said, they were literally right in that game to win against the Saints. It just all went downhill back to back to back. And when you have that many, miscues, turnovers, it's a recipe for disaster. You're going to lose that game. But each and every week, I've seen Jaxson Dart progress, look more comfortable. And each week, Dayball said, okay, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. And the team, like I said, no matter what, they rock with that guy. Him, Skattebo, like that whole young team. I told Kyle about Wan'Dale Robinson. I said that guy's a talented receiver. Me in the slot, I wish they had Malik Neighbors because it really took him over the top. But Wan'Dale, I think that guy is really, really good. Jalen Hyatt, you got to get some hands, man.
Yeah, fact.
How do you drop every single pass?
He's got.
They said he was supposed to be the next Odell. You got to take that 13 off, man. It's looking real bad. I wish Jalen Hyatt could just get it together, get the jug machine, get some stickum. No, but he was, I think, second or third round, but he was really talented, out of Tennessee.
Yeah.
On the teams that beat Bam, I was like, he's really that missing piece. He's that speed threat, the deep ball. Wan'Dale, kill the slot. Theo Johnson in the middle. Malik Neighbors just the dog. Then you got, Mr. Scat Pack or Cam or Bam Bam Cam, they called him on Thursday night. Like, he's that missing piece right there. You have everything there. Defense. Brian Burns is just a wreck right now. He was all over the place. Just that whole team, like each and every week, man, the Giants just feel like, we got a shot, which might be some blind confidence, but you can't tell an NFL player that they can win every single week. But the team is really must-watch TV every Sunday. Absolutely. If they playing Thursday, Saturday, Monday, whatever day it is, they got to watch them there. And Jaxson Dart, man, like I said, I knew he had the talent. I saw him play at USC. Saw him play at Ole Miss. Like, arm talent, athletic ability, he's got it. Every week, he's getting a rushing touchdown. Now, he's got a slot. You got to stop trying to run people over. That's just part of his game. I think sometimes he can't help it. He gets caught up in the moment. But you've seen, like, the touchdown pass to Wan'Dale. He escaped. I don't know how he got out of it. He broke Zach Ball on the run. Like, the man is just, talented. He's athletic, for a white boy, he's the next great white hope. The man can play. Like I said, he has an unshakable confidence. He's got the riz, the aura, whatever you want to call it. He's got it. He's built for the New York, media.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like this team is kind of where my team was when, like, Dan Campbell started winning. I said his name again. Flag me. No, for real though. Like when the Lions started getting hot a couple years ago, everybody wanted to start tuning into the Lions games. They're prime time. They're not. They're like everybody wanted to pirate to watch the Lions because they were so fun to watch. I feel like that's the Giants this year. They're that team that like nobody saw coming in this way. If they saw him coming, they saw him coming with Russ. Like as a national scale. Like they were like, all right, maybe the Giants will be good because they got a good defense and Russ can do enough. But no, what it's been is the defense does enough and then Jaxson Dart cooks, and Skattebo cooks. Like that guy is a bat out of hell, as I think Toph basically just said. Like the guy cannot stop. His motor is go 24/7. And the two of them, like on and off the field, are must-watch TV. So how can you not get enough of this Giants team? And to be honest, those two people alone probably just saved Brian Daboll's job.
Oh, absolutely. And Brian Daboll knows that you can see every time you get true. You can see every time that Jaxson Dart does anything. Brian Daboll will hold that man's hands in his hand, his head in his hands. He looks like you want to kiss him, bro. He's like, you literally are the reason I'm still here.
Bro, he thought he had a concussion. He almost freaking crashed
broke
out.
The rule.
Yeah,
bro, I'd have did the same thing.
Bro, you saw Dayball went into the tent, Skattebo went in the tent. Everybody, they said other players went in the tent. They were like, get your ass out of there. We need you now. Do not let Russ throw another motherfucking pass.
As soon as he threw that ball,
he's getting booed from the goddamn fans. Get the fuck back in there.
Yes.
So where is Jaxson Dart?
Just give a handoff. Y'all set that man up, Russ, for
Yeah,
failure with that
facts.
pass.
Yeah, and you could
That third
I don't.
down pass by Russ was so funny.
There were indications of this before the season too. Like I don't know if you guys saw, Dayball was doing some kind of a media something, and he started cracking up, and they're like, "What's up?" And he was like, "Oh, Skattebo." He like walked by and said something.
Yeah.
Like it's like you could already tell Skattebo was like getting that whole vibe together differently, and then Jaxson Dart, the two of them, I think one of you guys said it. It's the word for it is electric, and Matt said on Wednesday, he said, "I can't think of another team." And it's funny that what a difference a week makes, but he was saying, "I can't think of another team that goes out there and you can tell they're having more fun and winning than the Lions."
Mm-hmm.
Which, when he said that, was true. Then Thursday came, and now it's the Giants.
It's the Giants,
especially Lions coming off of a
100%.
loss. Now the Lions have a lot of like, oh shit, like we got to fix some stuff. The Giants had no expectations, and so everything is icing. Everything is icing. And so the fact that it's happening and no Malik Neighbors, what the hell? And it's crazy. Lexi, she's got the best nickname I've heard for Skattebo so far. She calls him the little crayon eater. But that man, he is
crayon eater.
He's a monster, dog. That touchdown he got stopped before the line of scrimmage. Those little legs just kept moving. He reached that ball over there. It looked like, you know, those little jokes where like an adult will put his hand out and hold a kid back just by his head.
Oh yeah, just can't move nowhere, but the legs is moving.
And then the kid just lock in and push that motherfucker over, bro. And you know what's crazy too? I think I said this 2 weeks ago. I said from playing football, I've seen personalities like Skattebo's before, whereas like I know that he hypes himself up by like headbutting like lockers and walls. Did y'all see that video? Did y'all see that video that came out like a week ago of him back in college headbutting a brick wall before the game started?
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I knew it. But yeah, he's a monster, and I was so curious to see where he was going to go after his bowl game in college. That man was running, catching, and throwing touchdowns, going to the sideline, throwing up, and getting right back in the game. I was like, who is this?
As a Longhorns fan, I said, oh boy. Yeah. He almost pulled it off. I say, this man is unstoppable.
A one-man army. That was a one-man army. I remember
really
watching
quick.
Him. Yeah.
Before we end it, no, go ahead, make your point. That's before we switch topics. I gotta hammer one more point that I said weeks ago to you guys.
Hit it.
So remember what I said. When a head coach is able to draft their guy, Ryan Daboll, he didn't draft Josh Allen, but you know, I'm not comparing Jaxson Dart to Josh Allen. Way different players, but skill sets are similar. And what I was saying, when I looked at that schedule, I was like, guys, I don't see, any possibility the Giants, getting out of that. They have one of the hardest schedules in the league. I said, Russell Wilson can't get them out of it. And I said probably every game that they played, they were going to lose. And they did lose every single game. Russell was in there. I thought he was going to at least make it to, their bye week. I said, okay, then you put in Jackson. But I was saying, for Daboll, he had to move up to get Jaxson Dart. I was like, that's this guy. I said, if anybody's going to save this team, it's going to be him. Because I knew his skill set. I knew what Daboll can do with that quarterback. Russell Wilson, when he was at his peak, he was running the ball on the Seahawks. He doesn't do that anymore. Daboll, we've only ever seen him with an athletic quarterback. And I said, you put Jaxson Dart with the people I see in that team that are talented. I said, I don't know what could happen. I don't think, I've not seen playoffs, but like I said, each and every week, I just want to see them get better, progress, build chemistry, and see what it is. He might throw 3 picks for a game, but that's all right. They're having a good time. So like I said, you got to let them cook at this point.
I want to say I was the biggest debater of you with this, and it was because and I've said this before, I thought that the Giants supporting cast would not be able to keep him healthy. I don't want to see his confidence get messed up like they did Daniel Jones. Nobody has been more right about Jaxson Dart that I've heard than you. Like you hit that bitch directly on the head. So props to you, Toph. That was one of your biggest preseason things that you were talking about, and you were dead right.
You just gotta watch a couple edits. That boy ain't white. He's not. He's got the swag. I knew you can't kill that man's confidence.
Man, I need to take notes.
He's got confidence on confidence. That boy's built different.
Real quick about. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I expected something from Jaxson Dart, but I didn't expect it this quick. Yeah, shout out to Toph for putting us on early on.
Absolutely. One other thing, Toph, I know you and I have both been on this for several weeks too. Both of us said that the Eagles had holes. It didn't look right, and that's 2 back-to-back losses. The Broncos and then the Giants. Those are not even the people that, when you looked at their schedule, you'd have thought would have knocked them off. And I said this to you. I texted you guys when the game ended. I said I think that they're imploding. I think that this is happening just faster than it did the last time they went to the Super Bowl. Um, it does not look good over there. The vibes are bad. And when we were talking about the that whole conversation with the Lions having fun and winning, I was thinking about the other team that's been doing a lot of winning, but it does not look fun. And now it doesn't look fun, and they're losing. And I think it's going to be, they're going to win more games, but I do not see a deep playoff run in their future. Do either of you disagree with that?
No, I don't. Just because this one like the weirdest divisions in football. Like whoever comes in first, they usually don't repeat. It's usually something different every single year, which it doesn't make sense. Like you said, you just saw the Eagles Super Bowl just dismantle the Chiefs. You would think, you lost, coordinators, some things like that. It's a couple O-line, but you didn't think it'd fall off this drastic or like this bad this early. You think,
This
okay,
fast.
yes, that's the biggest part. Then you got, the whole AJ Brown thing. Um, a lot of true Eagles fans. They either bring Kevin Matula, who is, calling plays. This is his very first time calling plays. I didn't know that at first. And I can see it, like watching that team, like, I've given Jalen Hurts, some flack as well too. Probably more than Kevin Matula. But I didn't know this was his first time calling plays. I know people debated about giving that to the head coach. But just like Barkley had a good start to the Giants. His first 2 runs, he was like 2 rushes for like 30 yards. Then it just phased out. The passing game looked better. I know he missed Devontae Smith booty butt wide open. Like you cannot miss that. There was nobody within like 10 yards of that, man. You got to hit that throw. Um it looks better, but you got a whole AJ Brown, every week it's now I'm good. I don't want to leave a trade. Like, there's a lot of drama going on. I feel like at this point, if you lose another game, something's got to change. Just like James Franklin, like, it can't get worse because this whole, division you got. I know the Cowboys just lost, but like Giants keep winning. You're all about right in the same spot. Somebody's got to make that separation. Said, okay, let's take the reins. Let's get some separation in it. At this point, it could be anybody's division.
Oh, absolutely. Which brings us right to it. And I don't even want to talk too much about Cowboys versus Panthers. I want to say one thing, and Kyle wants to say one thing. Um, Cowboys versus Panthers, to me, Panthers beat the Cowboys. All this shows is the fact that um, every single week, it seems like we don't have no idea who's good in the league at all. Like it to me, it does not feel like any team is great. It seems like everybody just is. All 32 teams are just existing right now. Um, like I said, we talked about how the Jets are probably better than 0-6, where there's maybe like the Saints and like the Titans. The Titans have won a game, haven't they?
Yeah, because they beat the
Yeah,
Cardinals on
they're
that fluke
105 now.
stuff
Yeah.
Right.
last
So
week.
you've got teams that have won a few games that I think are worse than their record. It's like it does not matter. But I mean, you saw the Panthers and the Cowboys come out today, and it was like a pick'em game. It was like we have no idea which Panthers team and which Cowboys team are going to show up. And I mean, the Cowboys lost, but I feel like this game specifically is like an example of how much parity we've had in the NFL this season. Kyle, I know you had something you want to say about Rico Dowdle.
Yeah, I mean, and even to hit on that point, I think it comes down to a lot of teams. I think probably don't work hard enough all the way through, which is why we see these teams, these outlier low end teams, end up 1-5, 1-4, or they're just so young, right? Lack of experience or lack of work, right? And those teams can still end up beating the Bills or the Lions or the Chiefs, like those guys can still squeak one out. And that, like, I remember when I first got into sports betting and I started, like, I was like, oh, well, the Titans beat the Dolphins last week 33-13. So, and the Dolphins beat the whatever, well, let's say the Ravens 2 weeks ago. So that means that the you know that they're gonna beat them now. Like you think like you do that math in your head, like, oh, they beat that team, so this team is gonna beat that team, right? And it's so different every time. And I mean that's why we love this game. That's a big part of it. And why next man up is a real thing too. Because Carolina looked like they were ready to get the first pick overall a couple weeks ago, and now Chuba Hubbard gets hurt, and you got none other than Rico Dowdle showing up, the former Cowboys RB1 last year. Shout out Jerry Jones, not signing him. He gets his chance, and the guy goes crazy for 280 yards in 2 games or something. Like,
Yeah, 200 all scrimmage yards today.
come on, dude. Like 31 points last week, 33 points this week on my fantasy team. Like the guy's going crazy, and
Mine too.
he is that good. He is that good. I mean, Chuba Hubbard, I think he might have squeaked on Ant's top 10. I don't know about anybody else's, but
Hell no.
he's good, but like he is not gonna withhold the starting position going forward, I think, and that just shows, because like you got to prove yourself, and Rico Dowdle every time he's been asked to prove himself, he's done that and then some. So
Are you saying that when Chuba's healthy, you think that Rico keeps being the starter?
Yes.
Okay.
Based on what he's shown you, why wouldn't you do that? If you're the Carolina coach and the guy's going for 5.6 yards per carry or whatever the hell it is in these last 2 games, why wouldn't you keep feeling those waters versus shit that wasn't working with Chuba like prior?
What do you think, Toph?
I mean, shout out to Rico as well too. I mean, he wasn't doing this on the Cowboys. No, he ran for 1,000. But if he would have done what he did the past 2 games
With
in
no
Dallas,
O-line.
he would definitely still be there.
If correct me if I'm wrong, I believe the Panthers played 2 of the worst run defenses the last back-to-back weeks.
I mean, probably, but I don't want to take anything from him. I mean, those are 2 hell of a games he just put down. So, I mean, that man balled out. And he, from the moment he ended that last game, literally in the record, he said, I can't wait to play the Cowboys. He was already thinking that next game. So he had a whole week to just playing some devious. He knew he was going to do a demolition job on it. And then, that man, he kept his word for it. I think you definitely keep the hot hand. The Panthers probably aren't going to be in the playoffs. So, I mean, kind of like I said about the Giants, let's just see what we got. Because, like I said, at the end of the season, you got to make some real business decisions. Contracts are crazy now. I always try to hammer on the point, like, you got to figure out who's worth paying so you don't get a bad contract. Running back shelf life, it's not like a quarterback or a receiver. You could get, 2 to 4 good years and you get the next one in there. Like I said, I like Chuba, don't get me wrong, but Rico's in these past 2 games, I'm going to keep giving that man the ball till it falls off. No offense, Chuba, but this man's been balling.
Worst case, happens, you split time more,
Yeah. Yep.
If that happens, I'm gonna miss hearing Boober on the fastest 3 minutes and with the Chuba missile crisis. Okay. Last football topic. Not even a real topic, but just something we're gonna let Toph say before we get into Toph's blind rankings, which we're gonna tell you what those are in a second. But not only are you the number 1 Jaxson Dart fan, you are also the number 1 James Franklin hater. James Franklin just got fired today. Sir. Go off.
I've been saying this probably after the first game they lost. Probably actually even before that. I was like, if this man loses another, game to another top 25 team, he's got to go. Not only did he lose to Penn State, he lost to UCLA, who they were favored by 24.5 points going into that game. And they lost, I think, like 44-37. And we've seen, Nico's debacle is not going well for him. He came out there, had 5 total touchdowns against them. UCLA just fired Deshaun Foster. I don't know if you guys remember Deshaun Foster back in the day for the Panthers. He was a dog. He went to UCLA himself as well, too. So he definitely took the firing, not too well. He really wanted to turn that team, around. Shout out to my boy Deshaun, the Burner Foster. I love that dude in Madden back in the day. Um, then you turn around and lose to the Brainiacs of Northwestern. And I was really going to say in the group chat, I said he shouldn't be allowed in the locker room after
You
that
said it.
loss.
You said it.
That's it. I got in the if I got it in time.
Yep, you
I was
said
like, no, I said he's got to be going to this point. James Franklin, the biggest thing for you can't be the top 25 team, and you've been there since I think it was 2014.
I want to say it was
It's
12
been
seasons.
it's been over 11 years, man. For you to have never beat somebody, it's like the definition of insanity. It keeps happening over and over and over. Nothing's going to change. You're in the Big Ten. You know, we're going to talk about this point later as well, too. I think, like I said about like players, and I feel really bad for Drew Aller. The man had his leg snapped off. I didn't watch it. I don't think I want to watch it. I heard it was really bad. But like Katron Allen, Nick Singleton is like, you have some really, really good players come in that program. And Penn State is a strictly good program. I think anyway, if you get a chance to get a scholarship from them, you got to take it. But for this guy to have so many good players on that team, to never even sniff a national championship, I think is a disservice to all those players. And as me, like I said, if I had to do it, when it comes to college football, you have so many teams, so making the national championship game is extremely difficult. But a national championship only means for the head coach. You've seen a couple of Heismans; they don't even get drafted the first round. Some even only get drafted. Like I said, it doesn't really matter if you have national championships, on your resume as like a quarterback, as a player. It doesn't really help your draft value. That is really just for the head coach. And so for Franklin, for all your players to come back to try to give a chance, people were hollering about why Penn State wouldn't be ranked number one, which makes sense. You had Drew Aller come back, who's been there forever. You just lost Tyler Warren. You've had so many guys year after year. Saquon Barkley, you've had some amazing talent come through that program. And if you'd have never, hasn't even got like a Big Ten championship game, let alone a national championship, I said, this guy's got to go. The voice has been gone forever. He doesn't have it. I don't know how Kyle feels about it, but I'm saying this guy's got to go. So same thing I say about, Harbaugh and the Ravens. I'm not saying he's a bad coach, but at some point in time, as a player myself, I had coaches I hated. When they talk, I didn't listen to a damn thing they had to say. It's like, I don't care about this guy. I'm going to do what I got to do. That's how players feel. Like I said, at some point you say like, man, this sorry ass coach, we know we're not going to win. It just gets stale. You just don't listen to it anymore. The players don't resonate. And for UCLA to literally have their coach fired, to turn around and be a 24 and a half dog and win, something happened in there.
Mm-hmm.
When Franklin to go in there and lose, like I'm saying, I know, like I said, I'm not saying Harbaugh's bad. I can think at some point in time, it just might be somebody else that has to do it. I don't know who you'd replace, but at the same time, it doesn't matter because what we got now, we're not winning. Our goal is to win, the pinnacle. We're not playing to be middle of the pack. We're trying to get it over the hump. So if he's not it, we got to find somebody to get in there to get to that point. Of course, it's not going to happen, overnight. But college coaches have a lot more wiggle room than an NFL coach. Like I said, Franklin's been there for since 12 years. Ain't nothing happened. Ears have been fired to this point. So like I said, you have time to recruit and you do your thing. Rome wasn't built in one day. So like I said, Franklin, get your ass out of Penn State, man. Put that on the couch. You gotta go, man.
Hey,
Yeah.
a few things real quick. First of all, it's funny, you literally just hit that on last Sunday. I know I wasn't here for I watched the episode. Y'all did that when is enough, and that you named him then. 1 week later, within 1 week, that boy up out of there.
We had about 10 names. I said, "What are your top 3?" James Franklin was the first one he listed up.
You said winning a Heisman doesn't necessarily do anything for the player. Wrong. You always will have a chance to do that Heisman House commercial. you got guaranteed bread coming in forever.
Got some money.
Those are some good commercials there. Okay, you're right. I got you on that.
One more thing too, because you
go ahead.
Oh, I just got 2 more, Kyle, real quick. You had mentioned, you brought up the John Harbaugh thing. We posted that video because we had 3 of us a big old debate about that. I was very surprised when we dropped the TikTok and the YouTube shorts for that, how many people in Ravens Nation agreed with you. They say get him the fuck out of there. So
As a former player myself, that's how I look at it from a player's standpoint. If I was in, like I said, I know he's a player's coach, but I said he just doesn't do it anymore. Like I said, you see the same things, year after year, and you see football. Look at the Niners. Everybody's dead. That is a violent sport. And for you to be wasting your career, game after game, year after year, like I said, these guys are the supreme competitors, pretty much everybody. I mean, that's everybody. I think a good majority want to, eventually lift up that trophy at the end of the year. And if your coach can't do it, NFL, they'll fire you quick. They don't waste any time.
My last point I want to make is Toph and I were talking about this off air, but and you had said, Toph, that a lot of players came back to try to run it back this season to get a natty, and it clearly is not going well for them. Everyone who is on the outside looking in at these college players, and they judge players for sitting out bowl games to protect their health for the draft, or maybe like, all right, well, I was good, let me get out of college as fast as possible, go to the draft, and go make to the NFL where it's for real. And why is college not like a bigger thing and winning the national championship? Everyone is going to look at stuff like this as an example of why we're not listening to y'all. We chasing that paper because it could all go away this fast. And now Drew Aller has a fucked up leg, and the rest of them have killed a lot of their draft stock as compared to where it was. And all for what? Kyle?
That was not the twist I was expecting it to take. I don't know how to bounce to the next time. I mean, yeah.
I thought you had something you want to say.
No, you're good. No, I just didn't expect you to be like, yeah, I mean, what the fuck are these players going to do without the coach that they signed on for? I wasn't expecting that to argue with that. I was just going to make a joke about Keegan-Michael Key and how that's going to be the most remembering thing that we have from him running to the halftime locker room is going to be the most memorable thing that we have from James Franklin's Penn State tenure.
That's the best thing he's ever done.
Yeah, for real. Was getting Keegan-Michael Key on the pod. Wow, on the broadcast. But no, I mean, that's it. I ain't even gonna touch on what Spencer just touched on. I just had a funny little comment to throw in there.
Oh, all right. Really quick. Hold on. Very, very last thing about college.
Yep.
Quick little segment. I'm gonna call this all due respects or all respects.
That reminds me, I got something when you're done.
Down there in Colorado, if you guys don't know, my favorite coach, Coach Prime, just came off of another surgery. I think it was on Tuesday for a major blood clot. And he went, I don't know, I think it was in Colorado. And he knocked off number 22 Iowa State. And they said that man did not sit down for a single second in that game. Could you imagine just, having, I don't know what a blood clot surgery entails, but to have that on a Tuesday, then come out on a Saturday, and then coach the entire game? Come on, man.
And win.
Shout out, coach. Yeah, and win. And I ain't gonna lie, I said I was done with that team. I ain't bet on them at all. I said, I gotta take my fan base out. But for them to win, hey, Coach Prime, do your thing, man. Heal up too, big dog.
Nothing but respect and love for Deion and everything that he's built at every stop, at every place he's been, including Colorado.
And for you guys to hate on that, man, see what he does for these players? He's putting his own life out on the line for these young men. And you got people like James Franklin, who just out here dicking around.
Hey, Penn State, if you're looking, Penn State,
don't look at me.
Coach, you got a great coach out there.
Do not look at me. GM Toph does not want to be in Penn State.
One thing I want to say real quick too, because you made me think of it again. I was going to hit it when we did our first segment. I know we don't do All Due Disrespect on Sundays, but I want to say a special All Due Disrespect to Brian Branch. That was a real classless move at the end of that game, dog. I know you on our team. I rock with you. I like Brian Branch, but come on now. It's a ugly, it's a ugly look, dog. It's nasty. I don't want, you went out there and didn't play well enough, and now a player wants to shake your hand, and you want to be a bad. There's nothing I hate more than a bad sport. And I was mad when Tom Brady did bad sport shit, didn't shake Nick Foles' hand. and I'm gonna call it out when it's on my team too. Nothing I hate more than a bad sport, because at the end of the day, this shit is a game. And for you, Patrick Mahomes, you walking right by him, he put his hand out, you don't want to shake hands, you gonna just brush him off like that, and then Juju say something to you about it because you acting like a little bitch, and now you gonna go over and put your hands on Juju and cause a whole fight between the two teams. I don't know if I've ever seen a more suspended player than him. I don't know if I've seen a more suspended player than him. All due disrespect to Brian Branch, that was a classless move, and I'm ashamed of you.
I don't know the full story, but I think Brian Branch was on a nightcap, and he said there's one Pacific wide receiver he does not rock with in the NFL, and I think we just figured out who that was tonight. I don't know the whole story, but there's something with Brian Branch. I think he does not like Juju. I don't know if he took his girl. I don't know what it was. But he does not mess with Juju.
But
I think we just saw that tonight.
It started with Mahomes, though, because he didn't want to shake Mahomes' hands, and then Juju took offense to that.
I think there's something more than that.
If I have the story wrong, then
I don't know
then I'm out of the line. But what I saw with my eyes, I didn't like it.
The thing me and my friends always say about Brian Branch, not that this is an excuse for his behavior tonight, but Brian Branch might be a piece of shit. But as a Lions fan, he's our piece of shit.
That shit doesn't fly with me. That shit does not fly with me.
Oh man!
I ain't saying I'm like happy he did it. I mean, I ain't saying I commend it, but he
got his merch though.
Shit, but we got to deal with that because he puts shit out there on the field tonight.
You eat pieces of shit. What's the preference?
As long as they're lying. As long as it comes from a line.
All right, let's hit this. Let's hit this last segment. If you're still watching this, I hope this is fun for y'all. Hey, we at Late Entry love every type of woman in every type of form, but a certain one of us likes to play in the snow. So, we've got a special Toph blind ranking.
Before we
Toph, you had to interrupt to read for this. You had to, bro. Go ahead.
Yeah, I did. Toph, how many black women have you dated?
1.
All right. I have officially dated more black women than Toph. Carry on.
Hey, there you go.
See, and he didn't even hear that because he's such a little bitch. He didn't even hear it.
Yeah, that wasn't necessary.
Yeah, whatever.
That was not necessary.
All right.
Blind ranking. Okay.
So let me redo this now.
Yeah, restart your whole little thing you got going.
Why don't you go ahead and log off for me, buddy?
I will. If you want me to, I will.
All right. So I've assembled a list of 5 of the, I would say, highest profile snow bunnies in 2025. And we're going to let Toph blind rank them. So we're going to start off. Number 1, Billie Eilish.
5.
Okay. So we got Billie Eilish at 5.
Hate Billie Eilish.
Okay.
I'm with that. I'm so with that.
Scarlett Johansson.
Oh, 1.
Okay.
Whoa.
All right. Sydney Sweeney.
This is mainly 2025.
This is right now.
Yeah. We're here.
He said, what year do you want to go to for Sydney Sweeney?
I mean,
it's not Scarlett Johansson. What year do you want to go to for Sydney Sweeney?
I'm trying to think who the other people could be. I'm just trying to, make sure I get this right. I'm going to say 3.
Okay.
I'm not the biggest Sweeney person.
Okay. All right. Margot Robbie.
See, I knew that was coming. 2.
You're about to be so mad. That leaves at number 4, Kay Adams.
Oh, that's all right. It's all right, Kay.
Okay.
I mean, I would switch 3 and 4, but I mean, she wouldn't have took Scarlett or near Margot's spot. So at best, she would have been 3.
If so, you're saying if you could rank them not blind, you would just switch K Adams to 3 and Sydney Sweeney to 4.
Yep, that'd be it.
Okay.
So I cooked myself on that. I'm
No,
happy with
that's-
that.
Hey, all in all, good shit. Yeah, I disagree with you, but good shit.
Billie Eilish, man, you better put. I'd rather
Yeah,
Taylor
putting
Swift than
Billie Eilish up there is crazy.
Okay,
I
Kyle.
can't stand that girl.
Kyle, you get to rank them non-blind. Who are you taking?
No, yeah, so I did it as you were going,
Yep.
and I got
Give us
number
5 to 1.
Number 5, Billie Eilish. So
Really?
because of the blind ranking, similarly to Toph, I got K Adams 4 because I kept 4 open too long. ScarJo was my 3. Sydney Sweeney was my 2 because I didn't want to go all the way in on Sydney.
That's kind of what I was
you
at.
know? And then number 1, I put Margot Robbie.
Now,
I ain't mad at that.
Now, if you could do them non-blind, where are you putting them?
Non-blind.
5 to 1.
5 to 1. Billie Eilish.
Yeah, she's staying at 5.
Yeah. Billie Eilish, probably ScarJo 4. Kay Adams 3. Sydney Sweeney, Margot Robbie. Yeah, I mean, it's so close between Sydney Sweeney and Margot Robbie, but I'm gonna go Margot Robbie number 1.
Listen, we just
Oh,
seen
get
Black
that.
Widow for too long. She got number 1 on lockdown.
I mean,
That's like LeBron James out there. He's doing it for years. She's locking down that
I'm
one
about
spot.
to piss y'all off so badly. If we're look,
I'm gonna
first
go
of
ahead
all,
and get ready.
if we're talking about Scarlett
the
Johansson
Nobody King
in
Spencer.
2012, that's a whole different
Don't-
situation.
Don't matter.
I'm burnt out. I'm burnt out. Scarlett
burnt out
Johansson's
on
still
who?
bad. Scarlett Johansson's still bad, but it's
You're never
not.
burnt out.
It's not Iron Man 2 Scarlett Johansson
She
anymore.
my 4. She my 4. Yeah.
So hold on. Let me.
Is this? Well, I mean, you don't have the option to do blind ranking.
No, I don't
because-
have blind because I put the
Yeah.
list together. Yeah.
You put Billie
Hmm.
Eilish ahead of Scarlett Johansson?
I ain't even read the list yet. I ain't read the
Really,
list yet.
anywhere more than 5, it's already cooked. I ain't listen to a single song she do. Never.
I'm a bad guy.
When I look at that girl, she just gets on my nerves.
She got some
Okay.
movies though. I'm just saying.
Look,
Okay.
y'all ready for me to piss y'all off?
Yep.
Number 5, Kay Adams. Number 5, Kay Adams.
Dude, kill yourself.
Toph,
No,
come
alright.
come back. Damn. Toph, come back so I can make you mad again. All right.
I'm not even gonna sit down yet.
Number 4, Margot Robbie.
Oh yeah, I'm out.
Yep. That's you see, that's the type of shit that's gonna piss me off.
I'm gonna go ahead and go to bed now.
This is the type of shit I don't understand.
Yep. Let's go ahead and back this on up.
All right.
Just go ahead and pack this on up.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Number 3. It gets tough over here.
Please, come on, please.
Number 3, I'm gonna have to put in Sydney Sweeney.
I ain't mad at that.
You're gonna be mad though, because
But you,
Yeah, I
but
mean,
he already put.
She was 3 for me too. So
He already put Scarlett Johansson, Margot Robbie, and now he has Sydney. So his last 2 options.
if
Or,
Billy's
I'm sorry.
one, I'm
5
This
was
is my
Kay
last
Adams,
episode.
right? 5 was Kay Adams.
number 2,
Alright.
2,
This is ridiculous.
Billie Eilish.
You
Okay,
are
as long as Billy ain't one.
It's close.
big
It depends on the day.
Hell no.
It depends on the day. But number 1, despite what I was
No.
all the shit I was talking, it's still Scarlett
Depends on the
Johansson.
day. Immediately eliminates her. If you just said depends on
No.
the day,
Between 2 and 1.
that's
I know that Scarlett
Okay.
Johansson is aged
so the
beautifully.
fact
I have
that
no
I didn't
idea how.
understand that makes
yeah.
this even
Generational.
crazier. Because the fact that you were about to put Billie Eilish at 1 is nutty, and I want you to explain it. Go ahead.
Explain.
Not
Billie
that
Eilish?
yet, but I want you to go ahead with your number 1, and then please explain how Billie Eilish made it to 2/1. over all of this?
Yeah, I like my girls with some meat on the bone. So Kay Adams does virtually nothing for me, and Margot Robbie is extremely beautiful, but not on par with everybody else. Sydney Sweeney got some absolute warships, but her face sometimes be looking like Sid the Sloth from Ice Age. Depending on the picture.
I ain't seen that, but yeah.
So that leaves us with Scarlett Johansson and Billie Eilish.
So Scarlett Johansson is your number one.
Yeah.
As long as he had one,
everything
else could be forgotten.
Like Toph said, that's the LeBron. The longevity is crazy. All I was saying was with Scarlett Johansson and Iron Man 2 was like, and Scarlett Johansson now is like, it's still
never looked bad in a single Marvel movie.
Bron's still doing it. I just saw Aaron Rodgers throw a perfect dot today to DK Metcalf. It does not matter how long you've been doing it. You can still keep balling. We got LeBron, Aaron Rodgers, and Sydney Sweeney. The fact that y'all are going to hate on Billie Eilish like that is insane to me.
No, she got to go.
In this list,
the way she dressed is everything. She just, like I said, I'm a vibes person. The vibes don't match. You might be a cool person.
Oh, I wasn't going off of vibes.
But nope.
I wasn't going off of vibes.
I went through everything for mine.
If I put
I'd about to go
and
for
her
spirit.
across each other in a coffee shop, she'd be like, she would actually be the one like, yeah. So what
I was going full
make
package
me interested about you, Toph? And Toph would be like, yep, I'm out.
If we were doing based off of vibes, Kay Adams is probably one.
Okay, so redo the list like full package. Then. Does anything change?
I don't know these people. I don't know these people.
You can still be opinion on the way they talk, interviews, anything.
Sydney Sweeney, if we're talking vibes,
just looking at the IG pictures.
Sydney Sweeney is 5. If we're talking like personality and all that, Sydney Sweeney is 5. If a girl's talking about her jeans on a commercial, I don't want to talk to her at all. So,
I mean, yeah, Sydney Sweeney probably gonna wind up having us in the next in the sequel for Get Out.
Yeah, exactly. No. Some shit like that. That's not what I was saying. I was just saying, like, if she's gonna be in a commercial where she was like, "My jeans are," like, that's not a girl for me. Like, anybody that's gonna be.
She didn't tell a lie though. She do got some good ass jeans.
She got some good ass jeans.
All right, so this has been another episode of Late Entry. Thanks for tuning in. Catch our next wild shit on Wednesday. Live episode,
got
10
some
Eastern, 9 Central. We'll catch you. Peace.